This one's called Thumbprint. I interviewed this guy on my radio show last night, and he told me about an expert guitarist who taught his son. And one day, they were both at the same session, the student and the teacher. The student put his guitar down straight away when he saw the teacher walk in the room, and the teacher said, "Why are you putting your guitar down, boy? You play in front of me all the time." The student said, "Yeah, but this is a session. It's different. It's more intimidating." And the teacher said this, "Listen to me," got up on his face and said, "Does anyone have your thumbprint?" And the student said no, and the teacher said, "Exactly. I could never do what you do the way that you do it." I think we judge ourselves out of being creative often when we consider the mountains of work that have come before us. It could seem like every story's been told and every song has been written. And though it's true that there are certain ideas one might not get away with repeating, Jackson Pollock splattering paint all over the place comes to mind for some reason, but even that has had some artists doing a sort of spin-off that garnered moderate success because theirs looked different. It was their own thumbprint on a borrowed hand, I guess. But that's a digression and probably confuses the point I'm trying to make. Let's put Jackson Pollock aside. I brought him up to acknowledge that there are ideas that existed that once someone got to, then they were kind of played out. But upon deeper investigation, not even that is really true. Your thumbprint always comes through. You always bring your thumbprint with you. Particularly if you are giving thought to originality while you dance with your influences in whatever field you may be in. Consider the realm of motivation which I'm engaging in. Most self-help books or talks are about the same essential things: getting out of your own way, banishing self-doubt and concern over what other people will think, identifying all the stumbling blocks that lead to self-doubt, fear, depression, and procrastination. Steven Pinker, in The War of Art, labeled all those forces resistance, and it's the perfect word to describe it all. And I've sought out other ones to attempt to foster originality in this field, but none really nail it the way the word resistance nails it. If you could think of one, put it in the comments below. Let me know what you think. There might be one out there. I thought of oppression, oppressive forces, but that kind of overstates it, doesn't quite nail it as much. So perhaps I will Jackson Pollock the word resistance. And the point is no one is going to express the path towards overcoming resistance the way I will. And if you want to write about overcoming resistance, no one will express it the way you will. If we allow the voices that have come before us to silence our own, that's just one more trick of resistance that will rob humanity of your gifts. Your story is unique, as is your authentic voice, as is your thumbprint. And the point is that there are those out there who will resonate with your mode of expression more profoundly than the voices of whoever's influenced you. The band Oasis comes to mind. Remember them in the 90s? They were instantly massive and are a legendary band now that defined an era. Their place in rock and roll history is carved in music's Mount Rushmore. But I was there then when they first came out, and the criticism around them was nasty, particularly in the realm of originality. They were often written off as Beatles copycats, even though in truth they were so original that they could lean on their influences and not try to hide them, because really it didn't matter. They were much bigger than those externalized voices of resistance, and in fact fostered legions of bands that copied their sound. Even I did one. I did an Oasis copycat song called Exhausted. Go look it up. It's certainly inspired by them, but it has my thumbprint all over it. If it didn't, I wouldn't bring it up now. I wouldn't direct you to it. It's a pretty good song. It's okay to be influenced. We all are. We are porous, sponge-like creatures living in a creative explosion, which is a kind of cultural conversation, a back and forth, and it leads to brilliance. Chris Martin from the band Coldplay has gone on record saying that their biggest hit, Yellow, started off as a Neil Young spoof. You can hear the influence after he owns it, but it's certainly original as well, and in fact, him confessing its origin only adds to its value in my view. I enjoy it even more knowing the backstory. Taking this back to the term resistance and Steven Pinker's War of Art, which you should all go get because it's excellent, I've just decided I can have the word resistance as my own as well, because how I communicate and my experience and the stories I will tell contain ample originality and value. It's a cultural conversation I'm responding to. He's the Beatles and I'm Oasis. That's pretty awesome when you think about it. He's Neil Young and I'm Coldplay. What you do now will one day be as legendary as whoever influenced you if you don't allow resistance to consume your efforts with its lies. When you know you have a thumbprint, put some ink on it and smudge it on the soul of the world. Keep swinging.